swinging through your hood like Peter Parker.
But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things forever.
All I know is that she broke into S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and like broke in and stole his corpse. That's not what heroes don't do that.
Sword headquarters. But what if Sword isn't good?
All right, good stuff. Well, welcome back to the QC. We've got a very fun episode for you today. I'm here with, as usual,
Jordan over here, QC contributor.
And Jared, another QC contributor.
And we're going to be talking today about WandaVision and that last episode and the ending and implications for the MCU moving forward. So, guys, just give me your knee-jerk reaction to the last episode of WandaVision.
Both my knees jerked.
Go down.
That way.
Hit it, yeah.
I was watching the episode, and I think maybe 10 minutes in, I was like, they're talking about Quicksilver a lot. I was like, it'd be awesome if somehow Evan Peters could be here. I was like, that'd just be so cool. I don't know if they could do it, but like, they should be able to do it. I was like, I don't know, but because we were watching it together, I was like, that would be just so dope if they could put Evan Peters in here.
You did say that.
You see the back of the head, and I was like, and it was
Steve Rogers at first, but I did too.
Right, that's
Old
true.
Steve.
I did think it was Steve Rogers based on the haircut. I thought it might be old Steve Rogers, which would have been also crazy, but I don't know why that would have been it. But this is just the beautiful Disney Fox marriage is everything that we wanted it to be, and starting early too. I think it's happening faster than I know I was anticipating. So having Evan Peters here, keeping Quicksilver around, easy way to bring in mutants. The fact that essentially Wanda's rebooting her own brother makes sense within the show. It's a masterful way to do it. I don't think there's any other words for it. Like the way they did it was masterful, and I'm so pumped that this is kind of going to be likely how the X-Men come in. So yeah, I don't want to have the spotlight, but so excited.
Yeah, no, I'm as Jared can attest, I was just about bouncing off the walls. I jumped out of the seat. I ran around the room. I started banging stuff. I'm like, yes, yes. I was just like screaming, and I was like so happy because this is exactly as all of us are. We're huge X-Men fans. X-Men was like, well, I think I saw X-Men before I saw Spider-Man. Like when X-Men came out as a kid, like that was one of the first things I saw. So X-Men is so near and dear to my heart. So when I saw Evan Peters, it was an explosion of excitement and jubilation. I couldn't contain it, and I literally jumped on Jared's back and started like hitting on his back. Like I was literally a little kid. And yeah, everything Jared said, I just repeat. It's like I think there's just so much they can do with it. I think this is a great way to just tease people and whet people's appetite. They don't have to do anything. I don't even have to see them in Phase 4. Honestly, I would be happy if they kept Phase 4. And I don't, because Phase 4 doesn't have any X-Men, but just keep laying seeds, alluding to things that could be. Maybe we'll allude to Logan, Jean Grey, Cyclops, just little tiny Easter eggs, and just build up to it so that when Phase 5 kicks in, we're going to have it's going to be a huge bang, and I just can't wait for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I mean, I think we kind of should have known, considering that Wanda's going to be in a Doctor Strange movie that's literally called Multiverse of Madness. So we had an idea they were going to doing a little bit of this like crossover stuff, but I mean, they basically broke the MCU now with Wanda basically having the ability to essentially just think of any character that's ever existed in a movie that, you know what I mean? So like, we're going to have like, Halle Berry's Catwoman's going to show up. Well, that's DC, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's a great storytelling device, and it's really genius because now they can really just bring in really anybody. And Evan Peters is really one of the only characters. Granted, the X-Men universe, those movies, the Fox X-Men, they mostly did well. People generally like those movies for the most part. But one of the characters that everybody seems to love and everybody remembers is Evan Peters' character as Quicksilver, and he was great. He was the highlight of those movies, even the bad ones. So bringing back Evan Peters is really great, and it really presents an opportunity now to do Avengers versus X-Men and all these storylines that we only would think that would be in the comics but never would be on screen, and now they've even gone like further with that, whereas now like they can really do anything, and it's just it's pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, no, I'm really curious to see where they go with it. The other thing too is Elizabeth Olsen had made a comment where she said, "Oh, one of the surprises this season is going to shock the world," and she kind of said it was like a Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian season 2 level surprise. Evan Peters is a big character. I don't know
But
if he's
not-
Luke Skywalker level.
Yeah. it
So I
might
have
not
a
be that.
feeling this is just kind of like the beginning, and there's going to be some other pretty big reveals. Like maybe like, can you imagine Magneto? Like Magneto versus Wanda in WandaVision.
That
So
would be
I have a feeling
wow.
we're going
Comes to see his grandkids.
right.
Yeah.
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 Bro.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And then the fact that the kids keep aging themselves up. Like, we
Yeah.
could have I don't remember the names. I'll put it on screen of the two young
Billy
Avengers
Connolly.
that they become.
Yeah,
Wiccan
yeah.
is one, and I think
Yeah.
Speedster or something. He's like a speedster, like a Quicksilver. They could be, imagine those characters in WandaVision. So it's just Marvel's done a great job setting things up for the future, and I think it's gonna be crazy to see what happens. And it's so exciting that they're able to do this, because a lot of times I hate, again, go back to Wonder Woman, but DC is just like giving us the same kind of rote stuff over and over again, and Marvel is really just
Yeah.
finding new and creative ways to give us comic book properties, but in a way that feels different. So yeah,
For
what else
sure.
would I
For
say?
sure. Yeah, I was going off that note. You're saying that essentially that's correct. Wanda can pretty much just conjure up anything that exists right now. So it begs the question: are we going to see all of the Fox characters at some point reprise their roles, or a healthy number of them? Like, I would love to see Michael Fassbender's Magneto. That'd be huge. I would love that, because I think that currently, I was telling Jared last night that Evan Peters is like, he felt the most when it came to he was very quippy, and he feels like he fits really well in the MCU. The way that the quippy, the comedic lighter tone of the MCU, how that can, I think it plays well to Evan Peters' character as Quicksilver. But I would just love to see all the other characters come into. I'd love to see Magneto. I would love to. I mean, the thing is, they've cast so many different X-Men, but specifically Michael Fassbender as Magneto and James McAvoy as Professor X. If we could see them alongside, the Bruce Banner we know, Winter Soldier. If we can just have them all in there with Peter Parker, that would be fantastic. That's what I'm really hoping to see. So now that we've seen it happen, hopefully it continues.
Yeah, so that's what we're hearing. So I don't know if this is 100% confirmed or not, but I believe Scarlet Witch is making an appearance in the Spider-Man movie coming out at the end of the year as well. That's supposed to tie in to Multiverse of Madness, which will come out the start of 2022. So with an easy way to blend the universes, and obviously if you go back to comics like House of M, which clearly WandaVision is pulling from at least a little bit, I think that does set up really nicely for, and if you want to go Avengers versus X-Men or something along those lines, where obviously we're going to have the Maximoff twins, and then if Quicksilver knows his X-Men PV, still assuming he has all of his memories and everything, so we'll see how they address that in episode 6 and moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what he knows of what happened with the 20th Century Fox movies. But if those memories are intact and he wants to call for help, and somehow they see themselves on different sides of some conflict similar, akin to a civil war, what more fun of a way would there be to have Wanda join the X-Men, or essentially the X-Men, or since she was Brotherhood, but join the mutants, and then the Avengers, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, whoever we have remaining. That would be such an awesome, like, Civil War II kind of thing. Like, I'd eat that up. I don't know who wouldn't. So they clearly have a lot of different ways they can go. And honestly, I can't even think of a bad one at this point. Like, they could pick from like 4 different avenues, and I'd be like, sure, yes, great, do it. I don't even mind.
Right.
So,
So you mentioned House of M, and I think there's some opportunities there. And if you remember back to when they revealed that S.H.I.E.L.D. was basically Hydra, that was kind of like a status quo shifting event in the MCU. I have a feeling something that Wanda does, whether it's like the No More Mutants moment from the House of M, it may not be that exactly, but I think they're going to do something that's basically going to take the whole MCU and make it so every movie is affected, or every character in the universe is affected by what's happening here. So they can that'll be like the kickoff of Phase 4. That's kind of where I feel they're going with it, which makes a lot of sense, I think. So.
Yeah, that would, I can't think of a better way to do it. Yeah. Needless to say, though, all this being said, I am extremely excited just for all things Wanda, WandaVision, all things. I can't wait to see where it goes with her movie specifically. I don't think I've been as excited for like an off character. She's always been relegated to one of the smaller characters. Now I can't think of, maybe Spider-Man. It's her and Spider-Man. I'm excited for the new Spider-Man and Multiverse of Madness, because it's clearly I'm more invested into her character based off of the show now. So. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, there haven't been. Go ahead, Jared.
I was like, even though her accent came back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which remains to be seen if that was purposeful or not. But I know I'm not the only person that noticed when she came out the bubble, which was dope. that she was just like, hold up, this drone thing, this ain't gonna fly. Literally walks out and was like, you sound Sokovian again. That's always been a joke with her character. I'm hoping that was purposeful though by Marvel. So we'll see if that means anything.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining us as we nerd out about WandaVision. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen next in the show, and keep it locked to the QC for all your entertainment review needs, spoiler talks, and all other types of fun stuff. See you at the next one. Peace.
All righty.
Peace.